How's it going, guys? My name is Mason Puschman. I've decided to choose the Amsterdam as my target culture because of their vast cultural diversity and because more than 50% of the 813,000 residents they choose bikes as their primary form of transportation, which has led to Amsterdam being the most bicycle friendly city in the world. Um, the product that I want to market over there is the EcoCycle. It's an automated mechanical underground garage. It's created in Japan, and it's actually still only currently in Japan. It hasn't gone international, but it was launched in 2013 to control overcrowding and prevent damage and robbery of bikes. The EcoCycle can house 200 bikes per unit underground, and it will retrieve your bike in about 8 seconds, which makes it extremely time and space efficient. Um, I chose this company and for Amsterdam because of the overcrowding of bikes in Amsterdam, and because more than 100,000 bikes are stolen each year, and majority of them end up in the canals of Amsterdam. So it's polluting the water, and that's 100,000 bikes each year. It's a pretty big problem. As far as my cultural profile of Amsterdam, the city of Amsterdam is beautiful, rich of art, museum, and history. And because there's 400 kilometers of bike paths throughout the city, and the city is only 84 square miles, so that's a lot of paths for you to do. You can access, anywhere within that capital. All the main attractions like the red light district. There's also the only museum in the world that you can ride your bike through is right on the right downtown. Amsterdam's population, they also pride themselves on being one of the most diverse cities in the world, with more than 180 different nationalities within that small city. A large contribution to the diversity and the huge increase of people in Amsterdam is over the past decade has been huge. Just between 2009 and 11, 25,000 people moved to Amsterdam, and every year before that was only around 1,000. Amsterdam is known for its acceptance of all races and cultures through a live and let live attitude. The population leans towards it leans towards being individualistic, and they strive for equality between all races and cultures through tolerance and cultural liberalism. Um, the people of Amsterdam, they don't believe in showing off their possessions or accomplishments because they believe bragging about their wealth will reject the idea of cultural of being just equal with their neighbors. Um, they're rather feminine, they're more feminine than masculine far as their country. And that's just the Netherlands as the whole. But they still do believe in voicing their opinion, even if they believe it might lead into a conflict. As far as the problem and opportunities, I did a SWOT analysis for the SWOT or for the strengths of why I think that it would be a good product for Amsterdam is because there's not enough parking spaces for the 881,000 bikes in Amsterdam. There's only 813,000 people, but there's 881,000 bikes, and 100,000 bikes are lost each year, and they still have more bikes than people. Um, Amsterdam they pride themselves on being like a cycling community, and they consider it being part of their culture. By installing the EcoCycle, bikes will be hidden underground to reduce clutter, decrease theft, and reduce pollution of all the bikes that are being thrown into the actual canals. Like I said, Amsterdam is only 84 square miles, and there's 180 different cultures and ethnicities in Amsterdam. So by installing the EcoCycle, the community will be able to gain more space and have their bikes organized and easily accessible rather than being in a bunch of bike racks and hard to get to. One of the weaknesses will be each eco cycle costs about 1.5 million to build and install, and they only hold 200 bikes. So it'd be a rather expensive project because, just in their main park of Amsterdam, there's 8,000 bikes. So you can only imagine, only one of them can hold 200. It'd be rather expensive. But, thanks to the opportunities, Amsterdam already plans on investing 120 million on bicycle infrastructure and ways to house them. They just don't know how exactly they're going to do it yet, and they plan on doing that until 2025, I believe. So they'll have a good amount of money if they do choose to do this to install a good number of garages to get this project started and get people used to it and make sure that they like it. And then with hope, the number of bikes thrown into the canals will decrease, which should greatly decrease the amount of money spent to clean up those canals, and the money saved can go into building more eco cycles. As far as the threats go, the bicycle parking in the Amsterdam Central Station, one of the 8,000 bikes in it, it's the most what's one of the most photographed sites in the city, and so kind of taking away a tourist site from a place that relies on a lot of tourism will be a task. But like when you look at pictures of the bikes and how they're set up, I can't see why the community wouldn't be pleased with reducing the clutter of thousands and thousands of bikes all just lined up in racks. When you can put them underground and ensure that nobody's gonna throw them in a canal or steal them. As far as my advertising campaigns, I'll kind of explain them to you and then I'll show you a picture of them. What I did for my campaign is a media mix that will consist of 2 separate billboards targeting awareness and acceptance, and they're kind of like on the extreme sides of the scale. So the first billboard will display an image of the Amsterdam Central Station without the 8,000 bikes and all of their racks. Instead, it'll display a mock-up of the community or of the park of the station with all new eco cycles, and it'll all be redone and remodeled and look nice. And below the image will be an information statement or an informative statement, and it'll go something like organized, out of sight, peace of mind, and then it'll have the eco style underground parking below that. And then for my other one, unlike the informative billboard, which is the first one, the objective of the second billboard will be to affect people's emotions by a single picture. And how I would do that was I found a picture of it, is all the bikes that are thrown into the canal being pulled out. I'll attempt to show how it's polluting the canal and push them towards understanding that the acceptance of accepting the transition, and displayed next to the picture of all the bikes will be aware, be protective, be aware, be proactive, and be eco, and then eco cycles. And I just feel like getting their attention with that and then seeing what it could look like and the outcomes of it will really help people kind of get on board and want to have them come over to Amsterdam. And then as far as why should the international distributors choose my product? Everybody that goes to Amsterdam loves it. I've been, and I couldn't, I would stay there forever if I could. And because it's so small and they're so culturally rich and there's so many people there, there's too many bikes, and you don't want them to have to take that out of their culture. So I think this is a great way to reduce clutter, reduce things getting stolen, reduce pollution, and just make everything look a little bit cleaner and nice. And I really do think that would, help out a lot with them. And then as far as my my designs for the billboards, my first one would be this right here. Let's see. And then my second one would be. But thank you for looking at that, and I appreciate it.